Today is the day I am sharing our son Owen's organized nursery tour. I feel like I've been saying this for so long that once everything's complete, once we got our furniture, I was going to share it. We finally have our furniture. I don't think it's totally complete in here, but it's pretty far along and I wanted to show you all of the fun things that we have in here because I am in love with this space. So when you first walk into the nursery, right to the right here, I have this fun gallery wall. The whole nursery, I wanted to do like a jungle theme, safari theme, whatever you want to call it, but I really wanted to bring in some light natural green colors and lots of cute little animals. So I found these prints off Etsy and then bought some frames to put them in and made a little gallery wall of all of these animals, and they're cute little baby animals, which I love for a nursery. And then below it, I have our little nightstand that is next to the rocking chair, which I'll show you in a second. On it, I basically put a bunch of Jellycat books. We got all of these as gifts from different people. We also have quite a few different Jellycat stuffed animals too. They're very popular baby gifts, and it worked out great because of the animal theme I was going for in here. So while I have a lot of his other books in the closet, I thought these ones would be fun to put on display because first of all, the animal theme and those cute little tails on top. So I put them in rainbow order, and we've actually looked through some of those books and I've read some of them to Owen while I'm on the rocking chair. So it's nice to have a couple of things that are easy access that I can just grab while I'm rocking him. So that's really nice. And then as one of the other bookends, I used just a little fake plant that I had and a little name sign that I got custom made for him that I took some photos with when we were in the hospital as well. I wanted to drop down here to show you that I have his laundry basket actually on the floor here right next to the door to the nursery. Originally, I had it in his closet, but decided to move it over here because of the current situation we're in with him still sleeping in our room. So this might change when he moves to his nursery and is sleeping here in the night. We might move it back to the closet if that makes more sense. But for now, because we're most often kind of still changing him in our room, we're having him maybe spit up on things, not necessarily in his nursery, but in our bedroom or when we're out and about. So it's a lot easier for us to just walk in here, toss it right in there without walking all the way into the nursery and into the closet and stuff. So it's just easy access, and it's closer to the laundry room then because I can just pop in here and grab it and take it and go. So that's why I have the laundry bin here, and it also just kind of fills that blank space that we have there. So that's really nice as well, and I think it's super cute. Then I wanted to share what I have inside of the nightstand. There's still almost too much space in this nursery, so I didn't want to over organize it really. I don't want to add stuff just for the sake of adding stuff. There's a lot of bins and drawers and stuff in here that are half full, some that are completely empty, and that's totally fine by me. I want to keep it as simple as possible. So with this top drawer, I wanted to put things in there that I could foresee myself using as I'm sitting and rocking him or nursing him, and just quick, easy access things. So the number one thing I wanted to have in here were some snack bars, and I have 2 different lactation bars, so I'm stocked up and ready to go. I feel like I'm constantly starving because I am breastfeeding him, and just a lot of times I feel like he wakes up and he's in a sudden panic to eat, and I sit down to nurse him, and then I realize, oh my gosh, I didn't grab a snack for myself, I didn't grab a water for myself, and I'm gonna be stuck here for 20 minutes or so. So it's nice to have that I can just open the drawer and grab it. I also have a few other things for me. I have like a little nipple balm and a silk hair tie. Those are great for me to have, as well as that little remote control. I added a switch to this lamp, so it's on a remote control, which is also nice if I'm in the rocking chair and can't quite reach the lamp. I can use the remote control, and it makes the lamp a dimmer, which is even better when you have a little baby. So I can dim the light and I can turn it on and off all from the remote. So that's awesome. I also added in a little mini lotion that I had. You never know, sometimes I feel like when I'm sitting and looking at him so close, I can see some dry spots. So I want to put some lotion on him, as well as a little nursery spray that one of my friend's parents got me. And then on the far side there, we have a little plush rattle and some baby gum tooth wipes. Those I had in the bathroom, and again, these were a gift. They're maybe not something we're planning on repurchasing because I don't think they're super necessary. Our dentist said that you could just use kind of like a wet washcloth and wipe their gums off when they're done eating. It's not that big of a deal, but we have these gum wipes, and to remind myself to actually use them, and since we have them, I put them in here so after I finish nursing him and feeding him, I could use them here. When we were looking for gliders and rocking chairs, we were finding a lot that didn't recline and rock at the same time. Most chairs that you'll find, when you recline them, the rocking feature stops. And we really wanted one that did both, and we're having trouble finding that. We could find some that had an ottoman to them, but since we didn't quite know the configuration of the room that we were gonna have, we actually bought this before we even moved into our house. We didn't wanna have something that had even more space. We wanted it to just be a chair in isolation and still have that rocking and reclining feature at the same time. So I was really happy when we found this one. It is definitely not a cheap chair, but hoping it'll last us a long time, and if and when we have multiple kids, kind of move from room to room and move from kid to kid and last through that whole entire time. So I love that it is leather and comfy and looks nice in the space, and it is an electric chair, so you can just press buttons on the side and completely customize exactly how far you want to lean back and how far you want the footrest to go up and all of that stuff while still rocking back and forth. So I love that. And then I had to add a little bit more greenery. So I added in a little faux tree here that kind of makes it more jungle and animal themed as well. I did an entire separate video on organizing Owen's nursery closet, so I will make sure to link that in the cards above as well as in the description box below if you want to watch that whole video and all of the details of me going through and organizing it. It's kind of fun because I was still pregnant and figuring out all of the different things and how I wanted to organize it. We didn't have any furniture in the nursery, so everything really needed to go in here. We didn't have a dresser. So because of that, and because we now have a dresser and we now have our baby here, some of the ways that I'm organizing have changed just a little bit. We still got even more items and stuff after that. So for example, I had a bin for sheets and blankets. I now also have a drawer in the dresser that has even more blankets. I thought this bin was going to be totally large enough for all of our sheets and blankets. It is not. We've also added even more diaper storage at the top of the closet for backups, and I've kind of moved some things around. I had a bin in here for our bibs and burp cloths. I thought that was going to be a good spot for it, and while it seems like a really good spot for the backup bibs and burp cloths, I have found that we need bibs and burp cloths kind of all over the place, mostly burp cloths. It's nice to have them in our bedroom. We have them in our living room diaper caddy. I need some constantly in my diaper bag. I have some in the dresser. I kind of think I might want to put some also in that top drawer of the little nightstand by the rocker, because of course when I'm feeding him, that's when he's bound to spit up. So we don't have that many burp cloths to have tons of them all over the place, and then also a ton of back stock. So this bin may be something that ends up changing, but I'm still overall very happy with the closet, and I think it's probably just going to keep evolving as he continues to grow. You can see we don't have a lot of clothing still for him that's hung up. As he gets older, he'll evolve with the type of clothing that he's wearing. I opted to really only hang things that are pretty bulky and don't lend themselves to being folded. He doesn't have a lot of formal clothing, but more formal clothing that I wouldn't want to get wrinkled, that would be things that I would want to hang as well. So it's mostly just bulky stuff, some jackets, but I do have the little closet dividers that separate by age, which is really helpful, especially when I'm not as familiar with all of his clothing yet. So I know exactly what section to look in and know what's a part of his wardrobe that he should be wearing right now and what might fit him. The other thing that's really been helpful is having that bin in here that's for his clothing that's too small on him. We've used that up, and as you can see, it's pretty much full in there. And a lot of that is because we have twin boy nephews and they sent us a bunch of their clothing. They're about 6 months older than Owen. So lots of hand-me-downs. And since they were twins, they were born at a little bit of a lower birth weight. So they started in preemie clothing. And my brother and sister-in-law sent us all of that stuff just in case Owen was born early or was born just smaller and fit into preemie clothes. So we didn't end up using any of that. He was born 6 pounds, 12 ounces. So he was definitely still a smaller baby, I guess, but he wasn't in preemie clothes. So that stuff went straight into the too small bin, and he's already moved out of pretty much every newborn outfit. I think there's still one that fits him, and he's in the 0 to 3 month category. So, and that is starting to feel like some of the outfits are getting small on him. So I could foresee us pretty soon moving through that and getting into some 3 to 6 month clothing. So it's crazy how quickly they move through stuff. So if you have a little baby or even young kids, it's just so nice to have this bin, convenient and easy to access, and you don't have to go somewhere else to put that clothing that's too small. This is probably my favorite spot in the nursery, and that's for a couple of reasons. Number one, I am in love with the sign on the wall. I'm so happy with how it turned out, and I really like how it pops against that green accent wall. I'm happy that we decided to paint one wall green. We did that right when we moved in, and some of the walls needed to be repainted in here anyway. The rest was actually already gray and could probably use a little bit of repainting. So we left that as is. We can always repaint later, but we did one wall green, and I think it really helps kind of tie everything together. The tree that we have next to the rocking chair and bringing that whole theme together. So I'm really happy with that. And then the mobile that we have over the crib, I love as well. I know a lot of times when you have kids actually sleeping in their cribs, it's better to move it out of the crib and move it away. Kind of, again, brings everything together. And they're just cute little sleeping baby animals. So I love the way that this whole overall section looks. Before we move on to kind of the main event, the dresser, I did want to share this adorable stool that one of my friends just sent us. It is kind of nostalgic. I know a lot of people grew up with stools like this that have little puzzle pieces. So his name actually comes out and it can be a puzzle. Great for when he gets a little bit older. But she knew I was going for an animal jungle theme, so she got one that had an elephant on the side of it. It is so perfect and adorable. I almost want it for any future children that we might have to get matching ones. You can customize the different shapes here, the different wood finishes, of course the name and the coloring of the letters of the name as well. So this is really a cool piece, and I decided to put it in here just to kind of fill this empty space as well. I'm debating whether I want to put maybe 2 floating shelves above it and put some more things kind of on display, maybe some photos. We got newborn photos that we're still waiting on. We have some maternity photos. An ultrasound might be cute that I still have one framed that I might put there. So things like that. So let me know your opinions, what you think. If you think that the room is kind of full enough and a little too much and we should pump the brakes in the decor, or if it would be nice to kind of fill this space and add a little bit of shelving inside the actual bedroom as opposed to everything in the closet. Maybe bring some more books out here that are a little bit easier to access. Right when you walk in through the nursery door, the first thing you see is the dresser. So that's kind of the main event. And I was a little bit nervous putting it right in front of the window, but the way that we had to configure the furniture, that was kind of the only spot that made sense to me. With a gliding and rocking chair, it's probably best to put it into a corner, because when it reclines back or it's gliding back and forth or rocking, it needs that space to do it. So having it fully centered on a wall, you'd have to have just a really large gap, and I didn't like that look or want that look. So angling it in a corner really makes the most sense, and there was only one corner that didn't have a door immediately adjacent to it. So a lot of the other corners in the room are just too narrow. So we had to put it in that corner, and then kind of moving through things, it was just a natural progression of, well, I want the nightstand next to the glider, and then I want a big sign over his crib. So it makes sense for that to go there. And then the dresser was the last remaining thing. So it went by the window, but Owen's actually loving it. When I bring him here in the mornings and I set him on that changing pad, he loves to see the sunshine, his eyes open, and he just looks out there and kicks his little legs and starts smiling. And so I'm actually really happy that we put it there. And it's nice because the changing pad that we got is one that's wipeable and really easy. And I'm happy with that because we've had some accidents and some spit ups there already. So happy with what we chose, but it does feel like it can get a little bit cold. So since we have it right by the window, when the morning sun beats on it, it actually kind of pre-warms it for him. So it works out great. We also have on top of the dresser there a little diaper caddy. I went with an acrylic one to match the drawer pulls that we have with the dresser and nightstand, and have, of course, his diapers, some wipes, a cute little monkey lovey there. He's not necessarily playing with toys or snuggling with stuffed animals yet, but it looks cute there, and I can always kind of hold it up and play with him. And then I have some other little bath essentials that we need or use often. They're all from Tubby Todd. Really happy with those products as well so far. So I like the top setup of the dresser. Just kind of the general rundown of the way that I wanted to organize the dresser. First of all, I consulted with my husband, Jim, and wanted to know what he thought. He's gonna be in here a lot too, helping out and changing Owen and things like that. So I wanted to make sure it's accessible and the organizing makes sense for both of us. He's a lot taller than I am, so when I put things on the bottom drawer, it doesn't bother me at all, but for him, he prefers things that he's accessing most often to be up higher, which does make a lot of sense to have those as the top drawers. I also just in general, when I'm organizing a dresser, kind of think light to heavy. So oftentimes I like to put lighter things like socks and underwear at the top of my dresser and heavier things like sweatshirts at the bottom. So the way that I decided to split things up is the full left-hand side is all of his clothing. So with that, I put all of his current clothing, the size that he's in right now, at the top. Then the next drawer down, I kind of divided it again by size, and it moves across the drawer. And then the bottom drawer is actually empty. We don't have that much clothing for him yet. So that drawer is empty, and I'm completely fine with having the extra space. Now, the next side of the dresser, I've put right under the diaper caddy because it kind of makes sense to me mentally to have backup diapers and wipes and things like that. Next down, we have some sleep sacks and swaddles and accessories. I would usually put the accessory type things at the top, but I really wanted to have more of the diapering section way up high here. And then at the bottom, we have some blankets. So it does go that light to heavy to me. Having blankets at the bottom just makes sense in my mind. Let's start with the top drawer here. Again, I said this is the diapering drawer, so tons of backup diapers, so it's really easy to restock this diaper caddy. We have more in the closet, but I like to have some here as well. And then I have extra wipes, those burp cloths, ready and easily accessible. These burp cloths my mom actually made for us. So they are all matching in the shape, but she made them out of a bunch of different fabrics and colors. So they're extra special because my mom made them. And the other thing my mom made are these little pee-pee teepees. So if you have a baby boy, you know that baby boys are definitely difficult when it comes to changing their diapers. They like to just kind of let it loose when you open that diaper. And we have had plenty of accidents. We've tried different strategies like opening the diaper and kind of exposing him to cold air and then quickly closing it and seeing if he goes to the bathroom one more time before we open it and change his diaper. Sometimes that works. I will say these are handy, but he moves around so much that it is kind of difficult to use these, and hopefully he's graduating from this stage of peeing everywhere, so we might not use these that much longer, but They're kind of fun, and again, my mom made them, so we have them in here. And then I also put his accessories at the top here. So we have his little sunglasses. I mean, how cute are these things? And pacifier clips just in a little case that closes. So that's the top drawer here. Then to this next drawer down, I have his swaddles. I have some just plain white onesies, both short sleeve and long sleeve in his current size. I have all of his baby socks, tons and tons of hats. Again, those are a lot of hand-me-downs. And then I have sleep sacks that he's not using yet. Those are for once he graduates from the swaddles and he's starting to roll over and he can have his arms free and doesn't need to be swaddled anymore and shouldn't be swaddled anymore. So we have 3 of those, and then I have 2 extra covers for my Boppy nursing pillow. Thought I probably wouldn't need an extra one or need backups, but now that Owen's here and we've experienced the amount of accidents that can happen, it is so nice to have a few backups. In this bottom drawer here is exactly what I was talking about when we were in the closet, that we have so many blankets. I would have said too many before Owen was born if I knew this was how many blankets we had, but we use them all the time, especially in the winter. I feel like we're taking him places and constantly putting a blanket over him, and with spit ups and accidents, we're washing them constantly, so it's nice to have backups. But we even use them on our bed. We lay them down to change them on top of our bed so we don't have to wash our sheets super often. So these are getting lots of love and lots of use. It's still probably a lot of blankets, but not complaining and very grateful for all these gifts. So I've put these at the bottom, and we still have a little bit of space here, but I like that it kind of fits the blankets themselves, and I'm okay having a little bit of dead space on that side there. Then moving on to this side of the dresser, we do have all of his clothing that's in his current size, so 0 to 3 month right now. And the way that I've divided it, because there are kind of 3 different sections that I have here, I did it purposefully because we want to know what's what, and especially my husband, he wants to know what type of outfits are which type of outfits. So the first long row we have, and we have the most of these, are just zippered footies. Owen lives in them. Our favorites are the ones from Old Navy because they have that double zipper. So it zips from the bottom and from the top. It makes diaper changes really simple. So when we're just hanging out at home, especially when he's going to bed and we're thinking about middle of the night diaper changes and stuff, those are our go-tos. But there are also just some single zipper footies in here, some that zip from the top, some that zip from the bottom, but it's all of our zippered footies and onesies. Then the next largest section is the more complicated onesies, and those include like the ones with snaps either all the way down or just at the bottom. Some have like little faux fake buttons at the top and snaps at the bottom, or knotted gowns. All of that is in this section. And then the smallest section that we only have 2 things in our 0 to 3 month size are outfits that are separate pieces, so pants and a top. I've divided that as well so we know exactly what the different outfits are. And then there was some more space in this drawer because that's all we have in his size, and it's enough. We definitely have to do laundry pretty often, but we need to do laundry with, like I was talking about before, sheets and other things like that. So it's all he needs for sure. I have some of his toys that are little squeakers, like Sophie the giraffe. Being named Sophie, I needed to own a Sophie the giraffe. And other teethers and rattles and items like that. So we have all of that easy access, especially as he gets a tiny bit older. It could be nice to grab one of these things while he's on the changing pad and let him play around. So that is it for the top drawer. Then 1 drawer down, we have everything in the next sizes. So we have some 3 to 6 month, and then this next row goes all of the other sizes. We even have some outfits, I think some are in a 2T, like a toddler size. So this section goes pretty far back as far as the different variety of sizes we have here. I didn't want to separate it out further than the 3 to 6 month, which is going to be his next size, because there's just not enough of it to divide it that way. So I left it all in 1 row, and then that bottom drawer on the left side here is completely empty. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Again, I would love if you left me a comment below letting me know whether you think I should add some floating shelves or not, or if it would be too much on that blank wall. I would also love to hear if you liked today's video. You can also let me know that you liked today's video by giving this video a thumbs up, subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. But until next time, I will see you guys later.